Hey, here we are again for another video testimonial. And today I have here the founder of Tiffins. He's a friend of mine. His name is João Guilherme, also known internationally as John. He's a co-founder of Tiffins, a digital marketplace that connected brands and retailers in the natural product industry and eventually scaled to the point of being acquired by an investment fund. So he's here today to share his experience working with us for so long. Welcome, John, and thank you for being here, man.
My pleasure, Paulo. It's always good to connect, to speak to you and share your work. I've sent many clients over the years to you. We had such a such a great experience that we we recommend you to any kind of businesses. So just cutting to the chase, I was the founder CEO of Tiffins. We had a marketplace of healthy and wellness products. So we connected industries, wholesalers to retailers, similar to Fair, which is a big startup known worldwide. And Paulo, we hired Loocro. We recently launched the app. I think it was 3 months old, and we didn't know anything about marketing, growth marketing, campaigns, and whatsoever. And we I met Paulo through a friend of mine, and after a few talks, I could definitely see that he was different in the sense of actually what actually got us to sign and have Lucro with us was that I could feel that he was cheering and celebrating all of our um, achievements like we were. So I think that's what got the most, the what appealed the most to me.
And that's genuine. I remember when we started having our first conversations, and it was you were just a baby with your company. You're just getting started. And your co-founders, and you had this vision and the will to grow, and all the with limited resources, having to learn to do things and improving your app, and finding your space in the market. And to me, is inspiring to see founders like you guys having that kind of vision and effort to make it happen. And tell us more about what happened afterwards we signed up. So we had to, I mentioned before, to deal with the problem of the chicken and egg because of the marketplace. The app was actually. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Well, when we signed, we were just the three of us. And after 2.5 years, the company had, I think, 35, 40 employees. So that's very interesting because as a marketplace, we need to have buyers and sellers. And you actually, when we did campaigns for both sides, since we had a limited budget, you saw that it was way easier and cheaper to get sellers from campaigns online. And that was interesting because there was at some point, Paulo, that we couldn't onboard all of the sellers. We had a huge queue of sellers, industries, and wanting to get in and sell. We couldn't onboard them on time. There was like hundreds of sellers wanting to sell, and then there was a time that when we had enough, because we needed to make sure that at least we had some products covered. So we focused on the sellers first, and then the buyers went afterwards, because we came to a conclusion that it was easier to sell when we had good things to sell. Um, but it's always tricky at first because the budget is limited. And then I think the beginning we had a few $100s per month, and then at the end we had a few $1,000s using ads. And it was nice to see how you improved your metrics, the way you deliver the reports. It was nice to see how it wasn't just a plug and play and sending a report. It was a talk once a month at least that we could talk about the business. We could reflect what was working, what was not working, and actually have fresh ideas to work on.
I remember that I learned a lot with you guys too, because it was really challenging to adapt to campaigns and for both sides, and then apps installations and lead generation with a small budget, and then increasing the budget and adapting everything. That was a phase that actually taught us about your specific market and taught us about how important it is to have everything tailored specifically for each app and for each market. And eventually, after 2.5 years, you grew so much that investors came in, put money into your company, and then you had to make some changes. And one of them was to internalize your operation of growth. And something specific happened after that, which was you being bought by this fund. I'd love to hear this story so people can learn more about you guys, how you went from zero to hero.
Yeah, we since all the founders were engineers, we always demanded a lot. I think that's part of the DNA that we had. And since we were aiming for that sell a few months before it happened, um, the part of the we were really good at branding.
Yes, that's true.
Our brand was recognized. People knew us very much, and then the growth part, we had to internalize that because since we were aiming for the bigger startup to come and acquire us, and we knew who they were, and that part of the marketing was we had to make ourselves because it was part of the deal of the value proposition that we had to them. By acquiring us, we had a very good technology, very good operation, meaning since the onboarding of the retailer, finding the products, doing the finance analysis and credit analysis and purchasing everything without human intervention, and and the growth part was really important to close the gap. So the company that was acquiring, they would have everything in-house. So it was like a one-stop shop. Okay, so they have a good tech, they have a good operation, and they have a good branding and marketing. So that why it was part of the our strategy to make everything ourselves. But we were really satisfied, really happy with you. So that's why I think 4 or 5 clients of yours are friends of mine, and friends of the other my co-founders who are very happily and satisfied with your services. So
And I remember,
it was a strategic move, yeah.
yeah, and I understood back then, but it was like, oh my God, I can't believe I won't see them that often anymore. So, but still, here we are, and we kept in touch, and
It
the,
became a friendship
it became a
afterwards.
friendship.
Yeah.
It's awesome. If you had to summarize our journey together in one sentence, how would you describe it?
I'll summarize in one sentence. Okay. So I think I see Loocro really, really part of the business. Because I know that you used to think of our business not only when you were talking to us, but I knew that you were sometimes in your day or in your week, you stood up and say, okay, how can I help those guys? So I think that partnership, and I could feel that because it's genuine. You know, it's you can fake that type of thing. So if I could summarize our work together was, was we had a growth team as a partner. I think that's a good way to put it.
Awesome. Awesome. You mentioned that you referred to us a few clients. So, would you recommend Lucro to other founders, and why is that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And then if there is, let's say, you are a founder of a different sector or technology that Loocro hasn't worked with directly, I trust that they will deliver. Paulo will work and learn about your business, and he will talk to you equal to equal as he were in your industry for many years. So I would definitely recommend 5 stars. And I really look forward to other founders and app owners and tech companies to use your services. I know that you will outperform what they need. Definitely.
Awesome. John, thank you for your testimonial and all the kind words. It's always a pleasure to have a conversation with you. And thank you for watching. And I'll see you soon.